Live from Harbor Station, it's the Vector Spaceman Show. Now here's your host, Vector Spaceman.
Oh shucks, oh shoot, hello space cadets, how's everybody doing out there? It's your old pal, the Vector Spaceman, we're back at it again, man. Coming to you live once more straight from Harbor Station and broadcasting on all frequencies to our beautiful planet Earth. Now whether you're watching us live or catching us after the show, don't you know, we're glad to have you on board. Thanks for helping us make outer space the place to be as we get set to rocket into another session of all the things we like to love and love to share. It's Saturday, October 25th, 2025. You know, if there's one thing that a Vector Spaceman loves to do, it's stream back to back on the attack, no slack. Why, it's almost like we've got a handle on this whole thing. Welcome back to the program, everyone. It's the Vector Spaceman Show with your little orange host, me, the Vector Spaceman. We're back earlier than anticipated and doing some more No Man's Sky tonight. Should have this latest expedition all finished up by the end of the weekend at this rate. Stick around to see what challenges and chivos await us tonight. Now, if you missed the last show, we hopped back into the cockpit for part 2 of our Breach Expedition playthrough, finished up Phase 2 and made it about halfway through Phase 3. The ocean is dark and scary and full of enormous critters, and it makes us very nervous. And so we're glad that we don't have to go back there. Thank you very much. I'm sure the game's got plenty of more spooky biz to throw at us. It is the season after all. So let's see what it has in store for us tonight. As always though, if you want to stay up to date with all of our broadcasts so that you never ever miss a show, then be sure to follow Vector Spaceman on YouTube, on Blue Sky, and of course right here on Twitch. So glad you feel the same about oceans. Doggy, first of all, how are you doing? Nice to see ya. Big old shout outs to our friend D and Doggy. Big shout outs. Do. Just like that. Typing is hard. There we go. So good to see you. How have you been? I hope you've been well. I hope you're having a good weekend. Hope you're having a good month. Hope you're having a live new kitten. Her name is Cricket. That's adorable. Sometimes all it takes to improve our mood is a brand new kitten. You know, Spaceman, and I've said this before, I've never owned a cat of my own. I've been very fond of some friends' cats. I think the only thing that's keeping me from being like a real cat person, like a real cat enjoyer, is how sharp they are. Why must they be so... Why the claws? Why the teeth? Why the biting? Why the scratching? Sure, they're all different, but why nature? Why did you give them such powerful little tools? But that's good to hear. It's real nice to see you again. Glad to hear you're doing okay. If not great, then at least okay. But back to your ocean comment, let me tell you. There's been like one instance in my life where I really got like a huge feeling of like isolation and tininess and what have you, even more so than usual, being a teeny tiny little spaceman. But that's when I went out deep sea fishing once on the Gulf of Mexico. You get out there, you look around, and you realize, oh, we're just on this little boat in the middle of nowhere. You look in one direction, nothing but ocean. You look in the other direction, nothing but ocean. The only signs of life around you are the little dolphins and turtles that follow the boat around trying to get scraps. I'm doing great because I'm watching the Vector Spaceman Show. Aww. Too sweet. Deep sea, well listen, it was fun. It was a great experience. Like the waves are huge out there. You gotta keep your sea legs. But you realize how fragile you are. How if that boat were to spring a leak, there's no getting back. Maybe that's why People always recommend doing crimes out on the high seas. Deep sea is deep fear? Yeah, the deep, deep, deep below. Even if I'm just playing games where it's like underwater, there's darkness, maybe they'll throw in like a sound distortion effect. It creeps me out. Not being able to see like beyond an arm's length is just like, your mind fills in. It gets creative. It starts conjuring up what could be out there. Know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean. When everyone was streaming Subnautica and Barotrauma, I was like, ah yes, one gamer trend where I can't. You weren't gonna get in on that one? Yeah, I've never done Subnautica. It's one of those, it's just an eerie sort of space to be in. Like, I find it more distressing than, like, thoughts of actual space. Because at least in space, you can, you know, you can see spooky stuff coming. Plus, stuff that's in the deep ocean is just weird. It's just weird, man. Like, stuff with weird fangs and like, little dangly fish parts and what have you. It's just weird. I'll say it. It might be a little discriminatory, but I'll say it. By golly, it's just weird. Fish are just weird. Gulper eels, those things with like the anglerfish. Do you guys know that anglerfish are actually like small? Like, you see pictures of them with like their big, sharp, jaggedy teeth, and you think, oh, this must be a sizable critter. But they're actually like teeny tiny little mini fish. They're so teeny tiny. Let's see if I can pull up a picture here. Something tells me that we're gonna do some more educational content tonight. Anglerfish, size. And obviously there's different kinds, but the ones that you tend to see are show me scale next to a... Okay, hold on now. Why does it keep showing me these enormous things? Hold on. Teeny tiny little... That's not a real anglerfish. Why am I getting so many... I'm not getting shown AI images. No, hold on. This turned out to be a lot harder than I anticipated. Bear with us, Space Cadets. Bear with us. In the interest of science. Maybe I gotta try a different search engine. Here we go. Yeah, this is the image I remember seeing. Let's go to the desk. Let's go to the desk, you guys. We'll go to the desk so we can show... Oh, I zipped over here. I'm supposed to go dabba 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 dabba. Here we are at the desk. Let's take a look at this. They're actually like teeny tiny little things like this. Like fit in the palm of your hand. Not that you'd want one in the palm of your hand, but you get my point. You get my drift, right? They're built for deep sea predation. It's a pocket monster. It's literally a pocket monster. You're absolutely right, Dee Dee. You know, Dee Dee, you haven't been around the station in a while, so you might have missed some of our latest hyperfixations when it comes to critters. Because I've definitely been on a tirade. I've definitely been on a run. I've definitely been on a bender talking about a specific critter. Perhaps my favorite new critter that I've discovered lately, in fact. And I think perhaps it's incumbent upon us to share this information. I regrettably have been MIA from the watching streamosphere. I knocked out all of Little House on the Prairie. That's a Canadian classic! So in a sense, it's like watching the Spaceman show. Wait a minute. I got that wrong. Little House on the Prairie is an American classic. I was thinking of Little Mosque on the Prairie. That is a Canadian classic. And by classic, I mean within the last couple of decades. I got it mixed up. But the point still stands, the Vector Spaceman show is a Canadian classic. But speaking of Canadian classics and prairie business, I want to tell you, Dee Dee, and anybody else who is tuned in listening, I want to tell you all about the Columbian ground squirrel. This is what I've been going off about recently, being very normal about this particular critter. So let's introduce you to my friend. Let's take a look at the laptop here, shall we? Dee Dee, check this out. This right here is the Columbian ground squirrel. Look at that. Perfectly proportioned, perfectly sized, perfectly shaped critter. Look at him face. Look at him little paws. So alert, so polite, so attentive. That coat. The browns and whites and blacks. Tri-color perfection. Him little whiskers. He's got squirrel head. He's got prairie dog body. How could you not be enamored? How could you not be captivated? How could you not be thrilled? Incredible unit. Looks a little like that one drama creature meme. Pretty sure that was a groundhog. So it's similar to a groundhog. It's an extant relative of the marmot family, which of course includes things like groundhogs, prairie dogs, gophers, things like that. But it's a small species of ground squirrel that is endemic to Western Canada and parts of the US. He looks so polite. I had never heard about Columbian ground squirrels until like a month or two ago, because in Eastern Canada we just don't have them. We only have tree squirrels. The only ground squirrels we have are like chipmunks. But these guys can be found out in like BC and some western parts of the US. Hence the name Columbian, as in the Columbia River. But let's learn about these guys, shall we? They make little burrows in the ground. Max length, they can get close to like a foot long. So they're bigger than tree squirrels. But there's real important things that you have to know about them. Look, they make lovely little burrows. They make lovely little chambers in their burrows for different things, for waste, for food, for sleeping, all that. They're real engineers. Look, you can see when they're standing up like this, they use their little tails for balance. So their tails aren't as fluffy as like tree squirrels. But they still get plenty of utility out of them. They are polite and smart. Check this out. The most common activities for Columbian ground squirrels while above ground include standing at attention, feeding, and grooming. More time was spent standing at attention than engaging in other activities. So they kind of just loiter. They kind of just stand around all day. Just looking, just being, just checking stuff out. Nature's watchdog, if you will. In squirrel form. I think if we were all, you know, squirrel-sized and a little more compact, life would be much better. We'd have so much more room for activities. Now there's a very important thing to... Watchhog, yes. Very important piece of trivia here that we need to draw everyone's attention to. Columbian ground squirrels, when encountering each other, commonly will touch their mouths and noses together and act resembling kissing. They're so sweet. They're just so sweet. Just greet your Columbian ground squirrel friend with a little nuzzle. How can you not love these critters? You know? Conventional wisdom would advise that you're not supposed to put your face near wild animals, but with a Columbian ground squirrel, they might just take that as a sign of affection. They might just take that as, oh, this is one of us. Who's to say? I guess we'll have to run tests. We'll have to experiment. Time to go out west. Even the fauna of Canada is polite. Exactly. We can all learn a thing or two from these guys. Look at that. Look at that. Perhaps just the most stunning critter ever to grace the plains of Canada. 10 out of 10 critter. Perfect. That's my new favorite squirrel. I've always been a big squirrel fan. This is probably my new favorite subtype of squirrel. Say it with me, everybody. The Columbian ground squirrel. And now you've been educated, Dee Dee. Don't you feel learned? Don't you feel better off? Don't you feel like your day's been improved? Your life, really, now that you know about these guys. And we don't count the geese, that's right. We don't count those gosh darn, hissing, spitting cobra chickens. And you're not even allowed to hit them with your car. There's rules. There's rules. There's dated, outdated, discriminatory laws that keep those geese from getting what they deserve. From getting and they just strut around, waddle around, thinking they own the place. Honestly. The collective frustration of Canada given form. That's right. You can't contain Canadians' rage. You have to repackage it in goose form. Let's head on back to the station here, shall we? Dabba 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 da. Wait a minute, check this out. Dabba 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 da. We finally got to making some functionality that we've been putting off around the station. Dee Dee, check this out. Under your channel point redeems, you should see something that says slushy blue. We can now have people order slushies from the machine and check what happens when it happens. Boom, check it out. The blue level went down. In fact, I think I'll order one for myself. Bottoms up, glug glug glug. Drox, how you doing? Happy Saturday. We were just learning about a very important topic, which is the Colombian ground squirrel. It's been so long since we seen you. And we're enjoying some delicious blue slushies as well. Feel free to imbibe. Yes, we won't do the whole spiel again, but this is my new favorite critter right here. Is the Colombian ground squirrel. I feel like everybody needs to know about them. Everybody needs to know about them. 10 out of 10 critter. Canadian classic. Take this information, spread it to the masses, let the world know. We were just getting ready to head back to the station here. And I'll actually show off something because I'm oh so proud of it. I'm oh so pleased with it. So we were talking at, what was it called again? Oh, just in case you missed it, we're here talking about the Colombian ground squirrel. Not to be confused with any other type of squirrel, or ground squirrel. Tree, ground, or otherwise. Commit it to memory. But we were talking about this the other night. We had friend of the show, Lunana, in the chat. And they were gracious enough to doodle this little fella right here. It's the Space Columbia ground squirrel. Check him out. Yes, get him memorized. Beautiful fan art. Don't we love to see it? So cute. So wonderful. Always so appreciative. Big shout out to friend of the show, Lunana. Doesn't really stream, does have a Twitch presence, but make sure you check them out over on Twitter and Blue Sky and what have you. Lunana is one of the local independent Canadian streamers as well that we've had the pleasure of getting to meet in person through events and things like that. Good friend of the show. And a very talented illustrator. Other than that, though, other than Squirrel Talk, I had planned to go see that new Frankenstein movie, the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein. I was gonna go see that tonight. But regrettably, unfortunately, it's been postponed to the middle of next week. It's just so hard to wrangle, you know, people to go to the movies sometimes. Busy adults with many grown-up responsibilities. But I've been fiending to see this film. Like the Nosferatu movie remake, right? I'm not entirely sure. I'd never seen the OG Nosferatu. I saw the latest one. I don't know if it's entirely charitable to call these remakes. Because yes, there's been film adaptations of the stories before, but you know, it's not like it's an IP franchise or anything like that. You know what I mean? But Guillermo del Toro, fantastic and stylistic director, who's done wonderful films like Pan's Labyrinth and Shape of Water and Pacific Rim. Like, he's really all over the place in what he decides to direct. But they're always stunning looking. And I knew I wanted to see this film, and I knew I wanted to see this film in theaters. Because who knows how many more chances I'm gonna get to see movies in a theater before that whole model just completely disappears. I'd like to believe that we'll have movie theaters 50, 100 years from now. But with so many films going like straight to digital release and stuff like that, who knows? It's hard to say. For the longest time, the last film I ever saw in theaters was the 9th Star Wars movie, and I was very determined for that not to be the case. I walked out of that theater in 2019, and then the Rona happened, and it's like, I could have got hit by a bus, or I could have got sick, or I could have fallen down an open manhole covering, or something, or rocks could have fallen, and everyone died. And I would have died with The Rise of Skywalker being the last film I ever saw in a theater. And that just couldn't stand. And so I think it wasn't until like last year when I actually went to the theater again. My friends took me to see the Deadpool and Wolverine movie. So at least we, updated the stats a little bit. But at the same time, I'd like to see some proper cinema once again, you know what I mean? And this definitely looks like it. What would you count the movie as? Remaster, update? You probably just call it a film. I mean, like, you can't compare the Frankensteins to one another. Like, Mary Shelley Wollstonecraft, or whatever her name was, the author of Frankenstein, the novel, 100 and however many years ago that it came out. Not at all tied up in the film business. Anybody can make their own Frankenstein film, It's just it's an adaptation of a novel. Same for Nosferatu, is it not? Nosferatu was a novel, wasn't it? Maybe I'm wrong. No! So it was actually, the first interpretation of Nosferatu was a silent German expressionist film. Okay. I was wrong. Over 100 years ago. German silent film. So that maybe you could call a reimagining, but yeah, it seems like it's something that it like reads like a novel, right? You would not be surprised. But I'm sure it takes a lot of inspiration from vampiric literature, as it were. Anywho, I want to see this new Frankenstein. It's got Oscar Isaac in the lead. He's getting a lot of work these days. And it looks bombastic, and I want to see it on a big screen. Even though it comes out digital in like 2 weeks, I want to see it on a big screen. So that's the plan now, is to go see that next Tuesday. Fingers crossed, if everything lines up. Some people were busy tonight. One of my space friends, I'm like 80% sure that he might actually be proposing tonight to his girlfriend, so I'm like, okay. We can delay plans, But otherwise, yes, it is like herding cats. Trying to get adults to put aside 2 hours of their time to go watch movies on the big screen, get cultured. I know, exciting, right? Wow. Don't we love love? We'll see how that goes. I'll give you an update. Maybe I'm wrong. But he seemed very excited about tonight, and so I'm very excited for him. Vicariously, And then, of course, there's the Blue Jays, local sports team, out there killing it. It's so gosh darn loud in the city. You don't even have to follow baseball stuff. Like, I'm not a huge baseball person. I'm going to be honest, I don't think any Canadian is a huge baseball person. We have one team in the MLB. For the whole country. And it's the Toronto Blue Jays. And we only have one player on that team who is actually technically a Canadian. We do not produce baseball players in this country. We produce a lot of hockey players. We produce a lot of curling players. We produce a lot of, you know, figure skaters. A lot of winter sports, you know? That's kind of what we're built for. Even our own team has to go down to like the States to do their practices for most months out of the year. But somehow, against all odds, I guess we just managed to hire the most talented players. And now they're in the big World Series. The first game was last night, and we actually won. The team actually trounced. And how can you not get excited about that when it's your hometown team, right? Even if you don't know any of the players, even if you don't know the first thing about the sport, you got to get out there and get excited. So there's like, the stadiums are packed, and then there's places set up throughout the city, like outdoor viewing areas and stuff like that, so you can watch the games on TV and stuff like that, and of course sports bars and what have you. So it's a very, very exciting time to be in the city. And tonight's game 2, which probably started like a half hour ago. So we'll see how they do again tonight. Fingers crossed. Go team. Go Birds. But while we're on the subject of animal facts, because we already talked about anglerfish, and we briefly touched on Colombian ground squirrels. Here's another fact for you guys. Did you know that blue jays are technically not blue? That blue is actually a very rare occurrence in nature. You wouldn't think it. I mean, look at these guys. Take another trip over to the desk here for a second. I mean, just look at these guys. Where's my screen? There's my screen. Bam. I mean, that looks pretty blue, doesn't it? Why did it send me here? Hold on. Hold on. If I had to select a color by which to describe these particular jays, it would probably be blue. I can't really fault them for that. Are they ultraviolet? What color are they if they're not blue? So if you really inspect them, if you really look up close, they're actually like kind of brown-ish. And it's just a trick of the light that makes them appear blue by like light speckling and how it reacts with our eyes, is how it's been described. So if you shine a light from behind them, you get no blue whatsoever. It becomes this weird browny color. But because of how we interpret light as human beings, the way that it hits our eyes, and you can sort of see it more in their wingtips. Like it's a gray, brown sort of color. This one's kind of turned around. You can see it gets a little more muddied. But I was watching a video today, and they were like, they had taken a blue jay's feathers and sort of spread them out and were shining light from behind it, and it really was highlighting that it's, yeah, not blue under closer observation. But they are so pretty. And that's what our sports team is named after. Yes, they're quite striking. Who doesn't love a Blue Jay? Boy, we have really been covering a lot of animal facts tonight. Good job, everybody. Great job. I think that calls for a refreshing cup of blue. There we go. Glug, 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 glug. Anyways, that's been Spaceman's whole fixation for a while. Colombian ground squirrels and this space game that we've gotten a big fat update for. So like hummingbird feathers. I don't know about hummingbird feathers. Could be similar. Hummingbird feathers, they tend to be like, you look at them and you think, ooh, that's like a nice iridescent green sort of thing, right? Is it the same thing under closer observation where it's a more dappled effect, perhaps? Nature. How wondrous. But since the current plan is to go see that movie on Tuesday now, it means we're probably not going to be doing a regular Tuesday Spaceman stream. So we've been doing a lot to squeeze more streams in lately. But we'll probably do one tomorrow as well, maybe Monday. And then give ourselves a little break on Tuesday. Doggy, you probably haven't, well, actually, shoot, Doggy and Drox, you guys probably haven't been around to hear, but Spaceman's been in an underemployed era for the past couple of months. On purpose, though. No need to worry, no need to fret. Entirely by our own choosing. We just left the last Space Jor because, yeah, it just wasn't working for us, unfortunately. Not a problem with the staff, not a problem with the Spaceman, nothing like that, just it wasn't clicking, it wasn't hitting, so we're moving on to something new. We'll be looking for something new. We gotta resist the temptation to pretend that we're gonna be some sort of, professional streamer or something like that. To dive headfirst. I'm sure we will find something more stable. But for now, it's been nice to have a little more free time. Get to work on a little this and that. And this is where we find ourselves. And the plan for tonight, of course, is to continue that No Man's Sky Breach Expedition playthrough. That's what we're going to be doing, all the while, of course, we're going to be chit-chatting with the Space Cadets. Let us know how things are going. Let Spaceman ease you into your evening. Enjoy your little Saturday. Suppose it's time that we got set up here and actually do what we set out to do, huh? Let me pull up my gaming hands here. Not that we don't love chit-chat, and that's the thing. If ever there's an opportunity for us to gab about something, I always prefer doing that to actually playing games or doing stuff on stream. Just chatting streams, that's where it's at. And thankfully, we've had quite a few good streams lately where it's just that, non-stop, front to back, full throttle, just yapping. That's our MO. That's our preferred way to stream. But we do want to get some of this No Man's Sky content done, so I suppose we should look into getting some of that done. So let's head on over to the big screen, you guys. It's time for some No Man's Sky. Wow, here we are. And I suppose it helps to launch the game. So every now and then, we get a big ol' update to No Man's Sky, completely free. With an accompanying expedition, which is to say a series of challenges to undertake, which run for a few weeks and give you access to some limited time diddly-doos. Easily the finest value proposition in gaming. And the game's on sale right now. Here's the little turnaround. Turn around, Spaceman. There's our little Vector Spaceman. Look at him. Wonderful. Off to do spacey things. Woo, yes, woman, land. Yes, exactly. No Spaceman Sky. And they've given us a series of challenges to complete to test our game mastery. We made it about halfway through the third phase of challenges. Gotta make it to the end of phase 5. So what's on the agenda tonight? We have to explore a derelict freighter. We have to eliminate 5 hungering tendrils. And we need to crush the larva of a vile brood. Some of that's easier said than done. First thing we're gonna do is try to find a derelict freighter. We're gonna take to space. This is our temporary spacecraft, which we've just built by slapping together Corvette parts. Part of the most recent update. The ability to craft your own spaceship out of individual pieces. With interiors that you can walk around in and set up stuff. It's actually a really, really fine addition to the game. Alright, we have an emergency signal scanner, which will help us find a derelict spacecraft. Gonna ditch some unnecessary gear for the moment. Because I am sure that we're gonna pick up a bunch of stuff inside that spacecraft. That should be enough for now. Let's go find a spaceship. And we pulse. Just do a little sweep. And there we go, a derelict freighter for us to explore. Let's do a little docking. Make sure we've got enough ammunition. Looks pretty abandoned. That's the goal. I think we could stand to install different weapon type here. Yes, much better. And which one of these is our supercharged slot? There it is. There we go. Let's charge that one up. Yeah, buddy. All right. Scatter blaster. That's what we want. Ooh, shoot. That's my paralysis mortar, isn't it? Yes. Personal force field. There we go. Make sure we've got ammunition. We do. Okay. Let's beam into the ship. Come start looking around. Some other dead spaceman's helmet. Some supplies, why not? Alright, teleporter that we can't activate yet. Keep things nice and warm. Ooh, repair kits, don't mind if I do. So I think these derelict freighters are all mostly the same once you figure out one of them. They tend to be pretty straightforward. Doing a little legitimate salvage here. Let's breach. Switch perspective and suddenly we're playing a first-person shooter.
Ground protection falling.
There's so much to scavenge here. And tainted metal can be used to turn into nanites, I found out. Which are actually kind of useful.
Ground protection falling.
Make sure we search every little nook and cranny.
Ground protection falling.
So I believe we need to find 3 specific pieces of salvage.
Ground protection falling.
Then a lot of this I don't even know what it's good for. But that tainted metal, very useful.
Units received.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
That's the only way to go. Ooh, festering pustule. Gross. Gross, gross, it's all over the place. Gross.
Falling.
It's the first time I've seen any of those.
Temperature levels stabilizing. Ground protection falling.
Alright, we gotta be on the lookout for doors. Ah, here we go. Log snippet. Crew equipment records. We'll get a little insight into what went wrong here. Personal locker contains soldering iron, microjet nozzle, pH sensor, and collection of backup data drives. Last accessed 6 days ago. Detailed scan reveals a non-sentient life form is resident within locker. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, we got a security ID. We're gonna need that. Oh, another log snippet. Personal data recording. The lab wants us all in for testing. We need to move fast. It's gone. It's gone. It's... There's always a... an underlying... how you say... alien-like narrative to these horrific nest. Oh no! We'll let them come to us. We'll stay warm and we'll let them come to us. Big Spaceman energy. How you doing, Ace? We're in an abandoned freighter tonight. There's danger lurking. Spitting at us. No Man's Sky isn't really a flight sim. It's not. It's also not really a first-person shooter, but we're trying to make the most of it here. Okay, there's 2 of them left. 1 of them left. Somewhere in here. I need a heater. What's good? I'm school working. Hope you're enjoying the 360 no-scope of little alien men. Yes! We do a... they won't let me jump here. We do a 360, MLB, or MLG no-scope. Alright, I don't want to awaken the infestation, but I am wondering whether... okay, those things I shot earlier weren't hungering tendrils. Good to know. I ain't trying to open up any horrific nests, thank you very much. Here's our first teleport terminal. Let's secure the mainframe. Shipwide bioscans indicate severe incident status. Override available. Indicate the captain's fate to begin. Captain deceased. Duty officer may take command. Log in as navigator. Credentials accepted. Nice. Temporary commander. Let's read the captain's log. Date stamp 3013. Korvax Echo witnessed the Great Disconnection. One of few. Times of slavery, war, peace, all of them past. I go to see the Gek. Date stamp 3089.8. All those I knew were melted to form Gek vessels. They enter the system and face our own. We have come to discuss our treaty once more. Date stamp 3020.0. We meet within the shadow of a monolith. It is our way. We wait for a sign from the Atlas. We wait for a command to change. None comes. The Gek will postpone their decision once more. They will not return the medal of my friends, not yet. So this is a Korvax ship. Date stamp 3103.1. We go to see the Gek. We've come to discuss our treaty once more. Just over and over again. Alright, we found the captain's log. Should be at least one other point of interest. We take scavenged materials all day, every day. We take sodium. Alright, that's the way we came in. noise coming out of that horrific nest, I think we'll keep our distance, if that's alright.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
It's good to know that I can hit that with a mining laser. Okay, nothing over there. A lot of lockers and stuff to look through. Dirt. I found a unit of dirt. Infestation outbreak. What?
Temperature levels stabilizing. Thermal protection falling.
Because I stood too near to one of these for too long? Probably was. We just got to eradicate them without awakening any others. How many left? 2 left. Shoot! What did I just say, Spaceman? What did I just say? Get away from there.
Thermal protection falling.
I thought we were standing near a heater.
Thermal protection falling.
Let's duck through here. Alright. We can be safe here for a moment.
Thermal protection falling.
It would be a pretty clever thing to do.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Not again.
Thermal protection falling.
I was gonna say it'd be smart to have these guys like purposely pathfind to get in between my bullets and another one of these gross sacks. Come on, there's 2 of them out here.
Thermal
Let me just wipe them out.
falling.
One more of these bad boys. Where are you hiding? Where are you hiding?
Thermal protection falling.
Alright. We'll call that clear. Time to climb. I'm gonna try switching to the mining beam.
Technology recharge. Thermal protection falling.
Alright, here's another terminal. Engineering control panel accessed. Fabricators on emergency power, construct component. Let's extract some nanites. Nice, we love nanites.
Thermal protection falling.
But we still need to find the crew manifest.
Thermal protection falling.
Which, if I recall, is usually on a...
Extreme cold.
Oh, it's extremely cold. Need a heater. There we go.
Stabilizing.
Alright, this is not the way to kill these guys.
Ground protection falling. Temperature levels stabilizing.
Critical suit damage. Oh! Come on, hit it.
Falling.
Okay, I think we got it.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Whew! Now we need to do something about our shields here. Kinetic thermal harvesters. Need dioxide or batteries, which we don't have. Okay. Alright, shields starting to come back online. Good. Good, 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 good.
Technology recharge.
Infest, not again. The scatter blaster seems to be my best shot. Mad damage. The problem is, it scatters. Two of them left. Where are you? One of them left. Where are you? There we go.
Ground protection falling.
There we go. Crew manifest. That should be... Wait, that wasn't the crew manifest. Oh, we've been hoodwinked. Oh, what about this? Another log snippet, not what we're looking for. Off the map now. Gush down the corridor, burn the floor, they're coming apart.
Ground protection falling.
We came from that way. We went through here, we went through there. I'm not missing something, am I?
Ground protection falling.
Doesn't look like it.
Extreme cold damage.
My mouse
detected.
just refreshed, hold on. I can't look around.
Temperature
There we
levels
go.
stabilizing.
Been having this terrible trouble recently where my mouse, for whatever reason, just keeps disconnecting for like 2 seconds at a time. Alright, maybe there's something through here that we missed. Nope, that's the only passageway there.
Ground protection falling.
I believe you, game. You don't have to keep telling me. Alright, we must have missed something upstairs then.
Ground protection falling. Temperature levels stabilizing.
Getting through there? I'm not certain. Looks like we've been through here.
Falling.
Scanning help anything? Oh! 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 Another log snippet, not what we're looking for. Been through here. That's not something we interact with. And you'd think that it would be as easy as doing like a maze. Just make sure you cover. Just put your hand on one side of the wall, and sooner or later, you'll make your way through everything.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Log fragment. Oh, what's that? Horrific nest? No. Another log snippet. It says we mapped all the zones, which means it must have been somewhere that we've been already, and we just didn't notice it. Which is kind of a pain. More log snippety snaps. It's not just a random one of these, right? Research log. Nope.
Ground protection falling. Units received.
Data previously recorded. Nope, so that's obviously not what we're looking for. Previously recorded, previously recorded. Shoot, man. That's more than a little annoying. Use the analysis visor to navigate. Okay, so we hadn't considered doing that. Let's try that. Doorway opened. Doorway opened. That helps, but... not incredibly.
Ground protection falling.
Teleport terminal. Another doorway.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
More slime. More doorways. Life is full of many doors.
Ground protection
That leads to
falling.
the ladder, right? Yes. I was right about that. We can stun these guys.
Ground protection falling.
Just under.
Temperature levels
I feel like I'm going insane. We've been through every single part of the ship, I believe. Maybe it was downstairs and we missed it somehow. I hate how slow we move here, though. We move slow, we can't jump, we can't boost. We've already recorded that.
Ground protection falling.
I'm gonna feel ridiculous when we do finally find this thing. I just know it. Got nothing to do with these things. Nope. We've been here.
Ground protection falling.
We done got entity fuel generation. Okay, just another log snippet.
Cold damage detected.
We're in extreme cold. We're taking more logs. Research logs.
Units received.
Teleport out of here.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Alright, we're in the emergency airlock. This is the first place we enter from. So basically, we'll do a whole clean sweep. Somewhere on this ship is the dumb crew manifest that we're looking for that we've managed to completely gloss over somehow.
Ground protection falling. Ground protection falling.
Alright, we were in here already. A lot of scavenged stuff that I'm seeing. Guess those have already been scavenged.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Alright, so presumably not in there. Next room. See, I thought we were gonna get like a whole nother tier of challenges done tonight. We might just finish this one. At the rate we're going.
Protection falling.
Mind you, we did also get to talk about squirrels, so that's kind of a win in my book. We already recorded that one.
Ground protection falling.
There's only one door over here, so that's where we gotta go.
Ground protection falling.
Records terminal. Talking about this. Records terminal detected, use F. Sorry, where? What am I not seeing here? This, yeah? Records terminal. So, how did we completely skip the teleporters on? How did we skip over this? Oh, well. At least we got it figured out. Alright, we got a crew manifest. We'll update the bioscan. No trace matches. Retrieving last known crew positions. And we can leave. Awesome.
Protection falling.
We should be able to teleport on out of here. Main cargo bay? No. I want to go to the engineering core? No. We want to go to the emergency airlock. There we go.
Ground
Let's
protection
dip.
falling.
I ain't even trying to get all the salvage off of that thing. I'm just trying to get back to my ship. Woo! Alright. That was more freaking tedious than it needed to be. We're gonna sit in the chair. We're gonna save. And we are gonna head back to the station because we gotta run a little ad break. Wow. Alright, we're gonna tab on out of here. Just tab on out of here. Head on back to the station. And let's chill behind the desk for a minute, shall we? Dabba-dabba-dabba-dabba-dabba-da. All right, the Vector Spaceman show continues right after this, but we do have to run some ads. So, grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, run to the washroom, do whatever self-care you need to handle, and we will be back real soon, all right? 3-minute warning, and then we're back to the show. Back to the action, back to that No Man's Sky. And running ads. Ooh, ads. I know. All right, try to stay engaged, Spaceman. Taking a little moment here to check various social medias. Otherwise, it's just a boring few minutes of the show. Bear with us here. Okay, so we finished this derelict mission, which means now we can do the grub thing pretty easily, but I still don't know what those tendrils are talking about. Gotta figure out what that is. And then if we're lucky, if we're enterprising, if we're fortuitous, we may just get through some of part 4, some of phase 4. I wonder, do we dare risk it? Should we check how our Blue Jays are doing? How our not actual technical Blue Jays are doing? Let's see here. Oh, looks like we're back. We're back from ads. Awesome. Good evening, Space Cadets. We're back from ads. Hope you enjoyed those highly curated and thoughtful advertisements. Coming to you straight from Mr. Jeff Bezos. Ooh! I was reading the wrong headline. I thought they were tied right now. I'm not sure what the score is right now. I'm not getting any up-to-date play-by-play action here. If there's one place you can go to get accurate, unnecessarily detailed sports updates, it's Twitter. Let me search there. Blue Jays. See how they're doing real quick. Latest updates. Oh, maybe it is a tie still. Oh, looks like it is. Alright, save that for later, Spaceman. You can watch highlights later. Gotta stay up to date when the local team is doing their best. Alright, we're going back to the screen, the big screen, the gaming screen, to do a little gaming. We do a little gaming, Space Cadets. Did the game crash? Sure did. No Man's Sky, why you gotta be this way? If Blue Jays aren't really blue, are Red Robins really red? I think red is a real color that exists, like, in nature. Like, you get red roses and red on snakes and stuff like that. Red's like it's either like a fancy color or a danger color sometimes. Red Robins are probably pretty red. They also come with endless season prize. Blue Jays don't really give you anything. I have heard the Blue Jays are actually, like, very mean as well, though. Like, they're kind of bully birds. Right, let's put some of this new gear in storage. Seems like that's kind of a through line for a lot of Canadian birds, though, doesn't it? They're just mean. They're just nasty. Alright, we're back in space. And our next expedition target is going to be Purging Tendrils. The vessel of the many mouths is drawn to Titan worm burrows. Eliminate their hungering tendrils to purge the infestation. Worm burrows can be located with the analysis visor while on infested worlds, so we gotta find ourselves an infested world. Sick. And we also need to get hazmat gauntlets. And a supreme hyperdrive upgrade, that's cool. Love to install some gauntlets. Sick. Hyperdrive module. Might want to hold on to that, because we could probably apply that to our actual real ship once we get out of the expedition. Our actual good ship. The one that we like. The one that we like flying around. So, let's find an infested world. That's a metallic planet. That's not what we want. That's an icebound planet. That's an Arctic planet. That's a windswept moon. If there's anything we're missing over here. Actually, we can check in the log. Icebound planet, metallic planets, Arctic planets, Forsaken moon. Barren moon. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we might want to warp back to the second space station that we came across. No, that can't be true. No suitable spawning sites detected in current system. Okay. Well, in that case... yeah, the Spaceman special ship. The Spaceman 1. The Vector Space Van, if you will. Maybe we can knock out 2 birds with 1 stone here. By zipping to the 4th rendezvous point. Where is it? Is it way down there? It sure is. A gas giant. Whoops. No information available. Oh, that's right. You know why? Because where we are right now, we were looking for a specific system that housed floating anomalies. That's why we were here to begin with. So it's probably the tarometry system that we were at last time. Let's zip back there real quick. High sentinel activity, that's not what we're looking for. No suitable spawning sites detected in current system. Alright, I was wrong. Alright, will it identify? Good bug system. Show me life forms. That is where the next... Alright, we'll zip here. Hey, Eon, how you doing? Got a lurk today? Catch you next time? No worries. You have yourself a great Saturday. Thanks for tuning in. We always love having friends of the show show up. And show out. Wow, that looks like a black hole. Let's dock at the space station real quick. Feel like I should go into the space hole? Hey, lucky you. That is one of the later challenges for this expedition, I believe. is to spacewalk into a black hole. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, we're gonna land in an abandoned space station. Shoot, I forgot. There's still no teleporters in these abandoned space stations, which means... we gotta run all the way. Across all this empty space. Ugh. 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 You might even find a space Columbian ground squirrel. You're absolutely right. If only we could be so lucky. Free stuff. Free stuff. Alright, let's use the teleporter. We want to go to a previously visited station. Weird animal planet. We can sometimes make use of other people's bases that have found stuff that we need already. Alright, Rendezvous 2. That's where we want to go. Right, because Rendezvous 2 was where we found oh no, Rendezvous 2 was all the ocean stuff. You're absolutely right, Spaceman. You got this all mixed up. Which means, if we were to highlight the Vile Grub mission, then probably it would tell us that there's no suitable spawning sites. So let's go Rendezvous 3, which was... yeah, not where we was before. Okay. Now we're figuring it out. We were simply being silly. This one is taking a lot longer than the first expedition we did, that's for sure. Detected on a nearby world. Perfect. Why is our ship all the way over there? Let's summon our other ship. There we go. Far easier just to do this. Okay, let's find ourselves a planet with gross horrors. Vile brood. There we go. And what did we need to find? Were those worms or whatever? It was like a infected planet or something like that. What's that one there? Boiling Doom. I don't think that's it. Dusty planet. Definitely wasn't that. Corrosive planet? No. Where are my planets at? There's also something on the far side of there. Sorry, where the heck was this, planet that I saw a second ago? Not that. Oh yes, no, that is it. Foul brood detected. Okay. We'll line up with some landmass and let's bounce. For a moment it looked like a dragonfly ship. This one? Yeah, because of the big wing. A little ornithopter, if you will. Just go wub, 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 wub. We fly through the power of dubstep. Alright, let's find ourselves some juicy grubs. And the way that we're going to do that is by landing. We couldn't get so lucky as to just find one. Estimated distance. Actually not that far. Ooh, that's a hole in the ground. A juicy grub detected.
Toxic protection falling.
Get grubbed. Locate grub in inventory and crush grub. Foul brood detected. What is that? What is brood? What? Brood is huh? Brood huh? The brood is spawning. I'd love it if it didn't. I'd be so glad if it didn't, though. I'm just gonna hit it in its butt. Because that looks like a weak point for massive damage. It's actually turning out easier than I thought. There we go. A broodling skull. Cool. The brood mama. Also, I feel like I've seen you play Elite Dangerous before, only thinking of that now while watching you land on the planet. Yes, I have played Elite Dangerous before. Which is a fun game, but it's very much a different game. And I never had any of the expansions that gave you like the walking around updates and stuff like that. I only had the Spacebound content. I definitely prefer it for some things, but this is like the total package when it comes to space game. I don't even mind that the space controls are a little, how you say, dumbed down, I guess. We got some goodies. We got snacks by the look of it. Recipes. Very cool. So we still got to find a Titan worm burrow. While on an infested world. Reach an infested planet to begin the hunt. So, not an infested planet. Let's call in the expedient. Just a better ship for getting around. Oh. Been playing ED a lot lately. I tend to play it on and off. I do have space legs in that game, but haven't used them much besides going around stations to try and find some pre-upgraded guns. See, the thing, we had tried in the past to, like, get into No Man's Sky to no real effect. No lasting effect, really. It wasn't until they had the ship customization update, so now you can build your own little spacecraft like we got here. This is not the best looking spaceship by any means. It's quite blocky because we're just slapping together any components, any basic components that we can find during this expedition. But you can make some actually really cool looking stuff with it. Does it work well though? No, not really. It helps us get around. So when we're doing expeditions like this, they basically drop you into a fresh save and give you challenges to complete. And that runs for a few weeks. It's just a little window time period where you can earn some limited time, like ship parts or recipes, stuff like that. So they're fun to do. But then you lose everything that you've built along the way once the expedition ends, and you go back to your main save. So we don't really mind that it looks dopey. Find me an infested planet. Boiling Doom, Abandoned Moon, Corrosive Planet, Dusty Planet, Supercritical Moon, Gamma Intensive Planet. Presumably it would be one of these. I did try No Man's Sky for a little myself, but it was way before any of this added stuff. Yeah, so this was the last update before this one where they introduced Corvette building, and it kind of bangs. It's kind of awesome. All right, No Man's Sky infested planet. Infested is a biome subtype. They can be any type of biome. Alright, so I guess we're just gonna have to try a few. So we just hit this corrosive planet. We'll try the dusty planet. If we're looking for big worms, then maybe we can find it on a sandy, dusty planet. Do you think this will end up like Warframe, where the developers will stick with this game long term and just keep making it? Oh, absolutely. Like, the game's been out for almost 10 years now. And it didn't launch to great acclaim. It was kind of buggy at the start. I continue to say that No Man's Sky is easily like the best value proposition you can get out of a game right now. They just stay updated. Yes, doesn't this look like a dune planet? Alright, let's... Oh, it's so orange. Time to hit the old dusty trail. And look at all these cacti. Doesn't this look like a place where worms would hang out? Abundant fauna. Titan worm burrows. Reach an infested planet. So I guess we're not on an infested planet. Hazardous flora? No. More hazardous flora. Alright, wasn't this one. Second option was going to be Tatooine, but Brain was still on Dune. Well, let's be fair, Tatooine is basically Dune. What is Star Wars if not Dune with the serial numbers filed off and a bunch of other stuff slapped on? Alright, that was our dusty planet. And it wasn't on the corrosive planet. So our next shot's gonna be... How about the... there's 34 other bases over here, so maybe that's the one we're looking for. Where is it? There, is it? It's on the other side of this asteroid field. Blast our way through here, like Obi-Wan. And then we're locked in. Aha! Still never got around to actually reading the Dune books, but I'm a big fan of those movies. Coming in hot. Literally hot. It's a boiling doom planet. What are all these squiggly marks? Don't tell me that's worm sign. Have we got worm sign? No infested planets detected in current system. Well, come on, man. You could have told me that sooner. Alright. So I guess it will actually tell us. If that's the case, then... let's head back to space, because space is the place. Yeah, like, why couldn't it tell us that there weren't any? Just like it did for the other mission. Okay, okay. Let's take a look at some of the other systems that we visited then. We were in the tarimetry system. Does this have any infected planets? It's got a planetary anomaly. Blood moon, desolate moon, finned moon, abandoned moon. Nope. Not all visited systems. I just want ones that we've been to lately. I guess this is why we gotta update the places, or hand in our navigation data every now and then. Herm. That moon me moon. That's no moon. That's an abandoned moon. Alrighty, let's see here. We've been to the tarimetry system. It's telling us that that hasn't got what we're looking for. Where else have we been to lately? that's that gas giant system that have what we're looking for? If it doesn't, then we can at least get started on some more of the part 4 challenges, so not even a problem. Alright, we're back here, back to the black hole. Back in black holes. One planet with 5 moons. No infested planets detected here, but we can do some of the other expedition content. So, step 1, let's reach rendezvous number 4. How's our pulse power doing? Let's see. Pulse engine could use more tritium. We're good. We just gotta know that as we continue jetting through systems, to be on the lookout for worms. We're looking for worm sign. Is this a planet that we're jetting toward right now? We're skimming the atmosphere. Oh, shoot. We accidentally got too close to this planet. Let's get out of atmosphere. There we go. That's actually looking like it might be planet side. Just gotta line up our angle of approach here. Whoa, asteroids! No worries. We will zip right through. It's getting hot. It's getting close. Disengaged yet again. Does look like we're planet side though. Wish we could just zip right through it, or is it in the water again? Guess we're gonna find out in 30-some seconds. Worms are hidden, that's the worst thing. Just show me worms. Can a man not just have some worms? The planet's got a mighty thick atmosphere. Okay, we're coming in. Be on the lookout for buildings. Alright, we've reached approximate locale. There's a building over here. That's probably exactly what we're looking for. Do a little skydive. A new record for largest planet. Reach the 4th rendezvous. Clear out some goop. Turn to user identified. Terminal now active. Unlocking data log. glimpse the crimson orb. I was no longer certain I had been real. Perhaps the fungal deposits from the last world I visit are still clogging my exosuit vents. I've cleaned my filter 6 times, but I still feel it inside me. I discover something coded deep inside the long-dead traveler's log. Something's been left that will aid me on my own journey. Sweet, free nanites. Alright. We never turn down some free nanites. Take those back with us. Oh, a little condensed carbon? Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do! Okay, so that's going to give us inventory slots. Awesome. And 1,000,000 units. We'll apply that later. We're going to learn the Vy'keen word for Vy'keen. Awesome. Okay, what's next? Frail bodies. Alright, so we gotta do another... spaceship mission. Visit all the moons of a gas giant. So that we could probably do here because we got so many moons. And then the last one is spacewalk into a black hole. Rechlaven, how's it good? How odd, a spaceman not in space. It feels bad, man. Don't worry though, we'll get back up there. You just give it a sec. You just give it a minute. So we're gonna have to build another debris rangefinder. No problem, no problem. I would love to, while I'm here, start refining some of these tainted metals into nanite clusters, because why not? And let's see. We're going to put more of these storage augments into storage. Don't really need any of these sweet treats right now. I'll just put that in Starship inventory. And we can move some of these chemicals back into the exosuit. How are you doing tonight, Rechlaven? Hope you're having a fine Saturday. Our Saturday got a little disrupted. We were going to go to the movies tonight, but that got postponed till the middle of the next week, so here we are streaming away. Just doing our best. Just being a spaceman, you know? So if we want to build one of these, then we need metal plating, quantum computers, and a solar mirror. We need more silver. And we need some antimatter. We need a microprocessor. I was gonna say, I could have swore we had all of this stuff. Where is it? There's my metal plating. Where's my microprocessors? Did we use all of our microprocessors already? Shoot, we might have. We're gonna have to buy some, or can we construct some? Guess we're gonna find out. I guess we're gonna find out. And there's more silver, that's what I need. So we can make our solar mirror. We need a carbon nanotube, which means we need more carbon. We really don't have enough carbon? All right, let's go blast something. Let's go find some carbon. Condensed carbon. Don't mind if I do. We can decondense that carbon. It's so super hot. Boy, there's really nothing here.
Temperature levels stabilizing.
Okay, our nanite clusters are done. Carbon, condensed or otherwise. What am I missing here? I know we've got some. Ah, there it is. Condensed carbon. Time to decondense our carbon. Expand it even, if you will. That ought to be enough. Well, I guess I don't have to ask how the movie was then. I don't keep up with what's coming out anymore, though seeing the OG Frankenstein on the big screen seems like it'd be a lot of fun. Might be, but this isn't the OG Frankenstein. This is the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein. This is a new adaptation of the classic novel. In the new Tron movie, I can just wait for it to come out on Disney. But yeah, I feel like I don't have to see that one on the big screen. There's some stuff where you feel like, ooh, that would be great to see on the big screen. And mind you, Tron is probably cool on the big screen. Like, I remember seeing Tron Legacy when that came out. Shaping a wee little Vector Space Boy's brain. With dreams of computer wizardry. But this new one, I hear might not be as good. Plus, who keeps letting Jared Leto be in movies? Go back to your band. Do your thing. In the game, I saw at the station someone made the upside-down U-shaped Tron ship. That like, what is it called? It's not like a gatekeeper or something like that, right? It's like, I forget what it's called. I know exactly what you mean, though. I'll bet they used some of the new pieces from this expedition, actually. Because there's a lot of, like, black and red glowy pieces that have been introduced. What do we still need here? We still need a quantum computer. Means we still need a microprocessor. Now we can make the quantum computer. Now we can make the debris rangefinder. Awesome. Oh, it was last month, but the new pieces could definitely enhance it. I'll bet. See, I only, like, kind of know about, like, what all that stuff is related to, like the Atlas things and what have you, through, like, exposure outside of the game, because we haven't technically finished the main story quest in No Man's Sky yet. So I try not to spoil myself, but I feel like I kind of get what it's going for. You accidentally found out? One good thing from the Neutron is the music. It's 9 Inch Nails, right? The last one was Daft Punk, and this new one's scored by 9 Inch Nails, right? Just started doing things, and next thing I know, I'm done. Maybe it's not as complex and intricate and long-winded as I thought then. Maybe we should just power through it one of these days. All right, let's scan for some debris. Let's point ourselves towards another moon so we can start trying to crank out that land on every moon challenge. So that's a gas giant, and yet we were able to land on it, which is interesting. Mind you, gas giants do have solid cores, but it's not something that you would expect to be able to touch down on account of, you know, the pressure. I'm glad to hear the Neutron has got a banging soundtrack, though. I remember listening to the last one so many times, over and over. A staple on the old MP3 player. Alright, once again, the fireship Arcadia manifests. Let's see if we can't find some more goodies. Ooh, some domes. There's the log. We saw them out the airlock, just floating there. Could hear them singing. Get us home, please. Eerie. Alright, another Chivo. Taken care of.
Ground protection falling.
Come on, let me shoot at it. There we go. Do you need a special suit to float around in the space? Smoke stuff around space? Oh, those there's like nebulas there? I don't think so. I think that's kind of just for show. I'll say that and then I'll get electrocuted by space lightning. Who knows? Who knows? Recharge our life support.
Technology recharge.
Too bad the crew didn't survive. They figured out how to traverse space and time and can't share that knowledge with anyone. Too bad. Oh yeah, gravity would obliterate you if you got even close to the quote-unquote surface of a gas giant. Our biggest gas giant is Jupiter. And it's just shy of being its own star. If it had any more pressure, it could self-ignite. So it's what we call a failed star. Which is a little mean when you think about it. Not to be, not to diss Jupiter. It does its best. It's still a very important part of our solar system. Alright, we're gonna get some repair kits and a supreme thermal protection upgrade. So yeah, don't feed it anything that's gonna make it even more gassy. We want to collect storm crystals, eh? Where can we find storm crystals? Locate stormy worlds. Alright, we were oriented toward a nearby planet before we got intercepted by the Arcadia. Where did it go? It's easy to get turned around in space. No real sense of up or down. Alright, what's this one here? That's a barren moon. Well, shoot. Anything we can do on a barren moon? Hydrothermal vents. Reach a planet with water. Okay, I don't think there's anything with water here. How about radiant shards? We find dissonant worlds. Survey all the moons of a gas giant. Well, we'll start there then. We'll get all that out of the way. We know cardinal directions in space? Not true, because everybody knows that up is north. Otherwise, they wouldn't put it on maps. Everybody knows that. That's just Space 101. Alright, we're in the atmosphere, so we hop out of the cockpit, and that counts as a touchdown. Withered weather. A new record for smallest planet. Wow. Wow. Alright, that's one moon. Back to space. Okay, that's barren moon. Let's go for... We'll just do them in a line here. Corrosive moon. Are there any dissonant worlds here? Doesn't look like it. Oh, there is one on the last one. Oh, there it is on the other side of the gas giant. Please don't skim us into the atmosphere again. Watch it, they're gonna skim us into the atmosphere. Watch this. Oh, shucks. We're breaching. We're skimming. Oh, we might be able to bounce out. We did it. High sentinel activity. Quartzite, ammonia, and silver. Entering atmosphere. Poisonous gas. Alright, that's 2 successful. Radiant shards are going to come from dissonant worlds. Water world. And storm worlds. Stormy worlds. Identify extreme weather planets by their activated stellar metals. Activated metals, eh? Activated quartzite. Activated quartzite. Regular quartzite. And quartzite. So this might count as a stormy world. I don't know. Let's get a little closer and investigate. Yeah, see... Sometimes it's straightforward and you get exactly what's on the tin by descriptions from space. It's like, find a lush planet, and they're called lush planets or something, right? And other times they just mess with you. Alright, this is the best thing about Corvettes, is you can put them on autopilot. And then we... can scan. What's that there? Quartzite deposit. Fungal clusters, jade peas, fungus, quartzite, silver, quartzite, 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 buried cache. Maybe we should check out just regular quartzite and see if it's any different from, like, what makes it activated? There's a quartzite deposit nearby, though. Let's turn the ship around. Ow. No storm crystals detected on local planet. Okay, well, thanks for telling us that. Alright, so no use sticking around here and looking for things. Do you have to worry about high mountains? Very high ones, I think, but low ones you can just sort of skim over. Like the ship will sort of coast up and over. Alright, this lost blue moon also has activated quartzite. So let's chart a course for there. And if there isn't any, then hey, at least we're still getting the moon completions. Oh, that sounds like we're getting dangerously close to the gas giant again. It also kind of looked like there was water on this planet, so maybe we'll get a twofer. Maybe if we're lucky. Or I could have been wrong. Maybe there's no water here whatsoever. Oh, there's little pockets of water, it looks like. Beginning suborbital flight. That wasn't water. Once again, no storm crystals detected on local planet. Well, gosh. Even though there's electric rain here? What's gonna make storm crystals if not electric rain? Man. Reach a planet with water. Okay, this planet's got no water. No locals. But that does count for our gas giant moon mission. Back to Spec. We got 2 more to land on. A little tedious perhaps, but we can knock these out. Next one definitely looks like it's got water. But where is Moon? See, they couldn't just line them all up in a row. That'd be way too easy. Just too easy. Dead ahead, let's go. I've also noticed that this expedition's been a lot more meticulous about doing things in a proper order. Maybe the last one was too easy, they thought. Entering atmosphere. Pull up, Spaceman! Pull up! Like a glove. Got tropical winds here. There's vile brood here. Superheated mists. Is this one of those radiant planets? Nearby dissonant world detected. That was the last one, right? That was going to be the last moon. Was a dissonant world? Yeah. But no storm crystals here. And no crystal sulfide here. See, I thought for sure that we had crystal sulfide. No, we have sea glass. We have frost crystals. Okay. Okay. Pull up! Pull up! How you doing, Ghost? We're back on the tediousness that is the No Man's Sky Breach Expedition. Doing okay? We love to hear it. Happy Saturday. Weren't originally gonna stream tonight. We're supposed to go see Frankenstein. Oh, you been lurking? Love to hear it. We love lurkers here on the Vector Spaceman Show. Don't think you gotta show up and chit-chat, you guys. We appreciate a little lurking. Lurkers are the lifeblood of streamers. Did you know? Did you know? I bet you knew. I bet you know. No, we were supposed to go tonight though, but it's hard to get people to go with you. So we're gonna reschedule for the near future. Oh shoot, we done ran out of fuel.
Technology recharge.
There we go. Back on our business. Back on our business. Space business. Sometimes things just work out though. We saw some folks here in the chat that we haven't seen in a hot minute. Got to tell them all about Colombian ground squirrels and blue jays and other critters. Living up to our own expectations as a quality educational program. Talking about gas giants. Entering atmosphere. Pull up. Ground ahead. Alright, that should give us one of these Chivos. Lunar cluster. Let's go. And what's that gonna give me? Pre-packaged rocket boots? You gonna give me some free rocket boots? Beauty. Let me put on my rocket boots. There we go. Okie doke. Quick save. Because it looks like it's time for another ad. Let's go back to the station, shall we? Back to the desk. Da ba da ba da ba da ba da. Take 3, you guys. We're gonna be back real soon. The Vector Spaceman Show continues right after this with some more No Man's Sky shenanigans. Don't go nowhere. We're back in 3. Boo, ads. No worries, though. We'll be back real soon. Guess it's time. Guess it's time for us to check how those Jays are doing. Let me see here. Blue Jays. I ain't spoiling myself or nothing, because I don't watch these whole games anyways, but we want to stay up to date on how the home team's doing. Wait, what? 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 Oh no! Oh no, what? What's happened? Blue Jays currently losing. Oh no! It's the 9th inning and the Dodgers are up by 4. Oh no! Well, that doesn't bode well. But at the same time, you know what that means? You know what that means? It means that it'll at least go to Game 5. Which means they're gonna come back to Toronto. Because they'll do Game 1 and 2 in Toronto, like they're doing right now. They're gonna do Games 3 and 4 in LA. And then they come back to Toronto. So that means that we could have the series winning game here at home. Provided that, you know, they actually do well. And last night wasn't just a fluke. Trouncing them 11-2. But if that happens, we're 100% going to go into the city. And see what all the fuss is about. Because you gotta support the home team. Even if there's only one Canadian on the team. Maybe they can turn it around in a single inning. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see within the next few minutes. When the show's finally over. Alright, we're back. We're streaming Space Game. Let's head on back to see if the game crashed on us again. Da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Alright, game's running. Let's see what happens when we switch the screen. Game crashes. There's just something about OBS and swapping our inputs that causes No Man's Sky specifically to crash every time we do it. And that's why we've always learned to save before we take an ad break. It is weird. It's really weird. I've tried looking up, like, if anybody else has problems. Like, I've tried looking up Alt-Tab, No Man's Sky, cause freezing, something like that, but I actually don't think it's just No Man's Sky. I think it's OBS's fault. It's vexing, it's perplexing, Ghost. We've got a ghost in our machine, and it's not just you. I was slightly freaking out earlier. My game kept crashing on load into the expedition. Like on loading just into the expedition. All your other saves were good. That would be a little concerning, especially if you're using it on your main save. I'm actually very pleased that we've not encountered any problems so far. You could say it's a ghost in the shell. Yes, the shell being my Vector Space PC. Alright, we are on a dissonant world, so we should be able to harvest some radiant shards. Like right there. Ooh, closer than I thought. Look at all this living fragment. But that's not what we're here for. We're just here for shards. Mining beam. Get them shards. Only have one other save. Loaded into that one, tried again, and it worked. Well, there you go. I've got 2 saves, basically. I've got my main save that I do all my playing on, and I've got a creative mode save that I use for coming up with Corvette designs that I then have to actually recreate in the main save. You know what I hate, though? Having had all the freedom of creativity from the creative save, it's that there are actually some pieces that they give you access to in creative mode that you still can't get in survival mode. I don't know why. It makes no sense whatsoever to me, unless they're just holding on to them for some future update. Like, there's a bunch of really cool decorative pieces that you just can't get in creative mode. Nice, I was worried if we were actually hitting that. Anyways, that's Spaceman complaining about stuff. What else is new? Getting shards, and not even bothering sentinels. Glad it worked out for you though, Ghost. Hopefully, like, it's rare that I ever get on the receiving end of bugs, but when I do, it sucks. Like, I remember playing like a half hour of Cyberpunk when it first came out, and got so many bugs, whereas a space friend of mine was like, no, game runs fine, what's the problem with you? And then you get self-conscious about your PC. What is the problem with me? Still a title that we need to go back to sometime. Actually play through proper. I especially get excited about it whenever I see friends of the show playing. And then, of course, I can't watch proper, because I don't want to spoil myself. Is that it there? Is that it? This is why I'm sure to back up the save for expeditions. Well, now that I've figured out how to do that, you were telling me how to do that the last time we tried. Last time we jumped into this. Well, that's a living fragment. That's not what we're looking for, is it? Uh-oh. Swarm on alert. Oh, swarms. Sorry, swarm. I'm not trying to blow up your spot. But yes, now we are always going to be making backup saves. 100%. There's the shard. Oh, so you've migrated quite a bit then. I wish we had like a day one save that we could boast about. When it comes to Light No Fire, that's going to be us. That's going to be my jam. No doubt, no diggity. Alright, we gotta get 10 more of these bad boys. Sheesh. Lucky they're so abundant. God, I cannot imagine doing this sort of thing without the Corvettes. Just what a game changer. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. It's probably gonna be jank. But we're gonna suffer all of that. We're gonna push through because we're gonna know that they are gonna fix their game and bring us a fantastic game and experience, just like they have with No Man's Sky. And also, I'm gonna get to be a rabbit man, or a raccoon fella, or you know, they got a whole bunch of different species that you can be in that game. It looks like. See, if they just heed Spaceman's advice and maybe give us the option to play as a Colombian ground squirrel, then I feel like it'd be the perfect game right out the box, day one. Sadly, nobody listens to us when it comes to these things. We'll have to write a stern letter. What kind of squirrel? Glad you asked, Rockley. We're talking about Colombian ground squirrels. Except no substitutes. Tree squirrels, they're great. Other ground squirrels, also great. We're very pro squirrel here on the Vector Spaceman show. But when it comes to the squirrel of all squirrels, it could be none other than the Colombian ground squirrel. Tell your friends. Tell your loved ones. See, I imagine that to somebody who's actually, you know, who actually sees these things on the daily, they can't be at all interesting. But, you know, it's like how international travelers, they'll come over and they'll see like raccoons for the first time, or just regular tree squirrels, and they'll be like, ooh, so cute. So exciting. So novel. That's me and this little critter. I am the terrible tourist. I know there's a game where you can play as a squirrel with a gun. Oh shoot, what is that called? I think it's called like Squirrel with a Gun or something. Like it's very straightforward. Maybe they have a character select and you can play as a ground squirrel with a gun? Maybe. I'd be very positively inclined toward that. You know, technically, chipmunks are a type of ground squirrel. So we do have common ground squirrels. And chipmunks are really a hard type of ground squirrel to beat because they look awesome. Like they really do have tremendous patterning. That and they can play in bands, as we all know. Rescue Ranger, Chip and Dale, yeah. Yeah, and they can, you know, get up to adventures. Man, I remember Rescue Rangers. I'm not sure if they fixed the issue where... No, they did not. Okay. I was gonna say, there's an issue where if you're in visor mode and you want to like tag a distant deposit or something like that, but you're next to something else that can be interacted with the E button, then it defaults to trying to do whatever's right in front of you. Which means you've got to have like... Oh, and I accidentally put a nav marker right there. Which means you gotta have a space on your ship where you're not accidentally bumping into any of your gear. Just one of many tiny nitpicks, you know? Buzz, 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 buzz. I think we just need 2 more after this. There we go, Radiant Shard. Oh, we just need 1 more, perfect, last one. Don't know what they expect us to do with Radiant Shards. But hey, we got them. Might be out of range. We are out of range. Came in too hot. Too fast. Too uncontrolled. Spaceman. You gotta control yourself. Control your ship. Ow. Should be right below us. Right below us. Way to go, Spaceman. Okay, Radiance. Now let's get off this stupid planet. Alright, Starship launch fuel, Supreme Pulse Engine upgrade. Sick. And what else can we get done here? So we could dive into the black hole. But that's kind of getting ahead of ourselves. We still need to find a infested world, right? And we need to find some place that's got water, and we need to find some place that's got... What was it? Crazy weather. So we need storm crystals. We need stormy worlds. But there wasn't any around here. So maybe we do just hop into the black hole. See what we get. Problem is though, spacewalk into a black hole. The game is so forgiving that I'm pretty sure we'd still be able to summon our ship once we go through the black hole. Because we can summon ships from just about anywhere. So that shouldn't really be a problem, I don't think. I can give you a tip on stormy worlds that you wouldn't have to leave this system. Well, yeah, that'd be great. Hold on, because we've seen planets with activated metals, which I thought, hey, that's got to be stormy worlds, right? But then we'd land and it said, no, none detected. Gas giants are always stormy. Oh. All right, all right. So then all we have to do is find a water world after that. Gas giants are always stormy. And they count as being like... Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at the discoveries. Activated quartzite, yeah, so there's evidence of storms. So if we do a scan, it still just tells us... So when they say stormy worlds then, let me ask you that then. So does that just mean there's currently an ongoing storm? Like if we went to one of the other planets that had the activated metals, and we just waited around for a weather event, then it would count as being stormy? This is the thing, is that there's so many descriptors for planets that don't line up to the actual in-game, like what they're asking you for. Like I remember from the last expedition, they were asking us to land on a verdant world or a lush world or something like that. And the actual descriptor for it was like either lush or verdant or something like that. Like it was the opposite, whichever one I'm mixed up in my head right there. But it wasn't the actual thing they were asking for. So it's like, well, how am I supposed to find that then if you don't actually tell me what it is I'm looking for? And yeah, there said there were none in this system. Like, it came up with that. Storm crystals will show up even if a storm isn't active. However, you can't harvest them unless there is a storm active. So am I right about that then, what I just said a second ago? If we went to one of those planets that had activated quartzite on the surface, because there are a couple of those moons here, activated quartzite. So if we landed there and we just waited for a storm event to happen, then we'd be able to actually harvest them? Then we'd be able to detect them? Is that what you're saying? Because I feel like I might have, if that's true, then I might have been able to figure that out given enough time. But it would not have occurred to me that that gas giants are always under a storm effect. Let's go get some crystals. I've really seen more of it as a planet with extreme weather, huh? Well, I don't know then. Gosh golly gee. Okay, oh, look at all those storms. Oh, those are big storms. We've got, oh geez, we got atmospheric rocks. So despite being a gas giant, we can land on the surface, and the gravity is not so strong enough that we can actually have floating bits of debris mere meters off the surface. Okay. Yeah, seems hella stormy. Look at this place. This place sucks. Gas storms. Activate a target sweep. Nearest storm crystal located. Let's pop the top. Let's take a look here. You know what the problem is? I don't actually know what a storm crystal looks like. Aha! I guess we're about to find out. Dive! Storm crystal. Now back to the ship. Oh my god, it's hot down here. Whoo, toasty. Okay, next one. Oh, it's right there, though. I'm still gonna bring the ship in closer. Good luck. I think we got this. I think we got this. All we gotta do is grab 7 of these bad boys. And the water one we should be able to do from anywhere, so we should be able to just skip that one. And then once we've got all our storm crystals, dive straight into the black hole. That'll be a good way to end things. That'll be a nice, complete evening for us. We got multiples out of that one. Sick. And I'm sure we're going to be streaming tomorrow as well. Try to get this whole thing done before Tuesday, because we're not going to have a Tuesday stream. Since we're going to be trying to... Is that in a hole in the ground? Oh man. Alright, let's see if we can't get this here. Yeah, because Tuesday, fingers crossed, we're going to be going to watch that movie. Toxins? Oh my god! I don't know if we can actually get out of this hole. I think that the gravity is too powerful.
Toxic protection falling.
Or I'm wrong. Weapon charge depleted.
Technology recharge.
I'll try again once we're on the surface. But it felt like I was getting significant resistance. At least I'm not being affected by the heat down here. I can do little jumps.
Extreme temperature detected.
Check this. Like, I'm getting... Okay, now I got a little bit of aerial coverage there, but it really feels heavy. Whoa! It's kind of hit or miss. I'm not loving it. Thankfully, we can dig our way out. Otherwise, we'd be trapped. Trapped forever. Crushed to death on the surface of this gas giant. This gaseous giant. Okay, should be the last storm crystal we need. Even falling feels a little different. I think there is a gravity aspect to this.
Falling.
Okay. We're gonna get oxygen, supreme defense system upgrades. That might be useful, actually. What is this? Crystallized helium. Don't really need that, thank you. Don't need radiant shards. Thermal protection, might need that actually. Pulse engine module, put that in the starship. Photon cannon, put that in the starship. Show me shield module. Oh wait, that's not personal shield module though, is it? Oh no, it is. Exosuit defense systems. Maybe we'll hold on to that. Maybe we'll take that with us. Gas giants have extra gravity. I knew it. I knew it was feeling heavy. Look at us. We're so clever. Okay, so we've still only completed phase 1 and 2. Phase 3, we're still missing the hungering tendrils, because we've not found an infested world. Phase 4, we're still missing the crystal sulfide from a water planet. But look at this. One of the Chivos for Phase 5 is catching fish, so we can be pretty confident that somewhere in the Phase 5 rendezvous location, in and around there, there's going to be a water world. Maybe that's just me being hopeful, but I'm pretty sure that's the case here. So what do you guys say we, jump into a black hole? Doesn't that sound fun? That's gonna make a great thumbnail. was our personal waypoint that we set. Where the black hole at? We didn't technically touch down on this space station yet. We should do that. We should definitely do that. Just in case we have to come back, for whatever reason. Not that we'd ever want to come back here, because this system has sucked pretty heavily. But, you know, just in case, just in case. Bring us in. Save. Okay. Can we find... Like, when we warped to this system, we saw the black hole that was here, but I can't see it on the system map. So, where is it? Is that what I got targeted on my screen here? Is it behind the station? Below me? What is targeted on my little system map here? Could I be so wrong? Alright, where is... Shoot, that was the wrong button. Where is black hole? I know it's around here somewhere. Do a quick scan. It's not there. We'll go by the pitch axis. Not there, alright. We'll go by the yaw axis. Not there. Okay. Can't really roll our way through this. Just keep spinning until we see it. Unless it's on the other side of that gas giant, in which case... Doh. Did I have the right idea? That little purple icon that's on my screen? But you'd think I'd be able to line up with it. It's like, where did it go? Was I looking at it the wrong way? Where the heck is it? I should be looking dead at it right now, right? Oh, hold on. What's that? What's that over yonder? What's that swirly spot in space? Aha! My instincts serve me well. It's a space hole! Why, it's even this first space hole we've tried to approach. How close can we get to this bad boy before it starts sucking us in? Because I'm supposed to walk into it, not fly into it. Way to go, Spaceman. Alright, at the very least, we should get out. And we should snag a cool picture. Why am I tilting? We're not trying to tilt. We're not trying to tilt. The art of three-point framing. Reach out and touch a space hole. Nailed it. Maybe one with a little more space for some text. Maybe one with the spaceman on this side. I don't think we're going to get that angle for some reason because my mouse is all funky. Yeah, instead of moving on the one axis, it's doing spins on me. Alright, either way, we got a good shot. We got a good shot. This is it, you guys. This might not be it. We might actually be too far away. Back to the ship. I'm not noticing any change in size, and I don't want to die in space before we actually hit that black hole. So let's get a little bit closer, shall we? We shall. Oh, no, no, oh, shoot! No Man's Sky has encountered an error and will now shut down. Alright, well, something went wrong. Don't jump into black holes, you guys. But hey, here's the thing, fingers crossed, maybe it won't have saved, and so maybe we'll still be outside the black hole. So we got a little too close. It dragged the ship in, which is not what we wanted. We want to spacewalk into a black hole. We're in space. There's our ship. And there's the black hole. But also, where are we? Okay, we're still here, the gas giant. Let us approach the hole. Alright, we're not gonna risk it this time. We're gonna get out. We're gonna make sure that our life support is maxed out.
Technology recharge.
And let's go! Onward toward yonder hole. Can I get a shot of me? No, it's still messing me up. I wonder if it's a black hole thing. Into the hole. Here we go. Spacewalking into the hole. Zoom. There we go. We didn't crash this time. Oh. Ooh, look at us go. I should have taken a screenshot. I'll take one right now. Spaceman. Spaceman sky. The Nasudawase system. Now, where's my ship? Cross the event horizon on foot. So rad. Alright. Ship. Awesome. So that's gonna give us another memory fragment, defense chit, and terrifying sample. What is a terrifying sample? I'm terrified. And what the heck is a defense chit? token entitling the bearer to support from the system authorities in dealing with pirate attacks. Oh, we're gonna deal with pirates, are we? Really now? And haunted organs. Gross. We'll stalk the bearer across... Wait, what? An appalling relic, the haunted remains of some abyssal horror. It has lived at least 210 lifetimes and will live many more again. We'll stalk the bearer across the galaxy and the next, unless it is sold before the curse can take effect. So we gotta ditch this thing, huh? First things first, dock at the station. No infested planets in the system again. How am I supposed to deal with hungering tendrils? Sentinel starships? I ain't trying to deal with Sentinel starships right now. I'm trying to land in an abandoned space station. Alright, let's take a look at this system, huh? We've got a rainy planet, an azure planet, sub-zero moon, a planetary anomaly, interesting, icy ruin, and a hazy planet. But no infested planets still. Man. Got to figure out what that one means. It's the adoring fan. Yeah, it just keeps coming back again and again. Just like the space cadets. It's just a gross, organy space cadet. And what are we gonna do in phase 5? Reach a final rendezvous. Relocate the fireship Arcadia. Discover creatures on the planet Anma Omega. Is that in this system? Anma Omega, there it is. And it's got water, so that's useful. Gather polished stone from relic worlds. There was a relic world here, right? Assemble a complete fossil exhibit. And then we do some fishing. All right. Well, I tell you what. I think we done a lot of good for tonight. That might be a good place to call it. What do you say? What do you think? What do you know? We just saved. We're in the final location. I think that's a good spot. And then tomorrow, fingers crossed, we might be able to close this thing out for good. Finish it all off over the weekend. Almost done? Yeah. Black holes are nothing for properly trained space. Listen, this is a spaceman who's so educated, so handsome, forklift certified. What's this guy got going for him? This guy who is basically the human equivalent of a Colombian ground squirrel. Black holes, don't even stand a chance, man. Now here's the real question is, can we take that black hole back to where we were before? Is it like a wormhole? Presumably we can still warp between the places that we've been to through the teleporter. Or maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe I'm wrong about that, I don't know. But we're gonna go ahead and save. And yeah, I think that's a good spot to call it for now. Let's go back to the station, shall we? Oh, don't take off just yet. Don't take off just yet, Claven. Because you know what makes Spaceman so good at what he does? It's the fact that he always raids out for friends of the show. We've got more space content coming for you right now. It's just in a different type. It's just in a different game. It's just in a different manner. We're gonna go see friend of the show, Pomato Master, who is playing The Outer Worlds 2, which is a brand new spacey game. Yes, it's all the blue slushies. Let's close tonight out by enjoying a nice, refreshing glass of blue. A nice cup of blue. Where is it on here? Where is it? Glug, 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 glug. Delicious. Everybody get your blue in. Before we're out of stock. Delish. Alright, you do that while I'm gonna set up a raid here. We're gonna go say hi to Palm. Pomato. Super duper. And make sure you tell Palm that Spaceman sent you. Space raid. Tell her we jumped down a wormhole. A worm, not the wormhole. All right, looks like that's all set up. Fantastic. What an accomplished evening, you guys. As always, I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in tonight, wherever and whenever you are. You can join us again tomorrow. I'm thinking afternoon stream. I'm thinking a little earlier than usual. Right here, the place you know and love, Harbor Station, with the fella you know and love, the Vector Spaceman. We'll catch you on the other side, Space Cadets, and until then, of course, no matter what life throws your way, good luck and Godspeed. This is Vector Spaceman signing off. And make sure you stick around for that raid. We're sending you off for some more great content for your evening. Say hi to Palm, be on your best behavior. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. We'll see y'all again real soon. Bye-bye!